So, bar chords and how to get better at bar chords. Now, I'm not going to just regurgitate what you can find on the internet. I'm going to tell you what works for me, and hopefully it works for you. And if it doesn't, well, then maybe let me know in the comments what does work for you. So what we're going to do is take a look at 5 different things that I do to try and work on my bar chords. First thing is don't do it cold. And by cold, I mean don't do it warming your hands up. And by that, I mean even just before you play, just warm up your hands. Before I play guitar, you can reduce your time to getting, to the point where you're comfortable and playing how you should, just by giving your hands a little warm-up rub. Maybe crack your fingers, but just a few seconds like that, that's a good start. And then warm up with a quick pentatonic scale or some chord changes. What I'm saying is don't go straight into trying to get your bar chords better right off the bat. And don't do it at the end of your practice session. So you don't want to do it at the beginning because your hands aren't kind of warmed up and ready. And you don't want to do it at the end because your hands are going to be tired. So you just kind of want to do it just after you've got yourself warmed up. So however you like warming up, maybe it's a pentatonic scale, maybe you like just doing the chromatic scales. Play a couple chords, make some changes, maybe play a song or two. Don't get too deep, and then go, okay, I'm going to work on my bar chords. Which brings me to the next point. I'll lump it into the first one, I guess, is only 5 minutes at most. Do you want to mess around with this? And I mean like 5 minutes from, okay, I'm going to start, and then you start actually trying, to, okay, I'm done with this. Especially at first. Your wrist is going to get sore. You're going to start playing with poor form right away, and then there's just no point in beating a dead horse at that point. There's just no, hold on, I got to check. Oh, yeah, my audio is working. There's no point in going after it so hard that you're not making any progress. So a couple of 5-minute sessions a day is so much more valuable than a half hour. You will waste your time after 5 minutes. Once you start building up strength, sure, go ahead, play bar chords longer. But if you're going to say take a week to do this, 1 week, I'm going to get better at my bar chords every day, 7 days straight. That's a little much. Maybe 5 days straight. Start out with 5-minute sessions at the most, 2-3 times a day. And then move into, okay, I'm getting stronger. I can do this for 10 minutes. But don't overdo it. And don't get down on yourself. They're hard. I have trouble with them. I don't play a lot of bar chords. I can, but I just don't. I actually prefer to play the triads, especially when I'm playing electric. With my acoustic, I play a lot more bar chords. Before we get into any of that, let's talk about what we have set up here. We're going to work on, let's say, the G major bar chord. What we've done is set the circle of fifth dial to G major. We have the fretboard escalator laid out in G major, and I put the blue intervals in to show you what you're going to play as a G major chord. So before we get right into point number 2, I'm just going to explain why I have the blue here. In order to create a chord, you take the 1, the 3, and the 5 out of the scale that you're working in, and this being the major scale. We've got the 1, which is a G, the 3, which is a B, and the 5, which is a D. So everywhere there's a 1, there's a G, everywhere there's a 5, there's a D, and everywhere there's a 3, there's a B. So you can actually work on, while you're doing your bar chord, let's lay in a bar chord. While you're doing this, you can look and see what those notes are on your hand here. You could learn notes, so you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? And you're also understanding now that this entire bar chord is just laying your finger right across there, catching those 2 1s and that 5, and then adding this. I'm just going to force you to learn a little bit of theory, a little bit of intervals. It's played by numbers. It's not hard. Okay, so that's why I have this set up here for you. And the 1 chord, the 1, 3, and 5 is up here. All right, let's move on to point number 2. Start with the bar chord. If you're struggling, start with barring something on the A string. So now we're going to ignore the fretboard escalator for the moment. We're going to, let's say we're going to bar a C. We're going to bar a C major bar. Now, you don't hit that high E if you're going to bar down. And if this one is giving you struggles, then what I would suggest is the first thing to do is pull a little harder with your hands and push less with your thumb. And then you'll think, oh, my guitar is just going to move. I can't show you because it's moving with the camera. But I'm pushing my elbow into the bass. Here, I'll try and stand up. I'm pushing my elbow in here. And this stands for any bar chord. You're going to push your elbow in, which is going to move the front of the guitar out. And you could actually do this entirely without, I'm not putting my thumb on the back at all. And the only way I can do that is by putting a little pressure on my elbow on the back of the guitar. I guess it's not my elbow, it's this fleshy part where your arm meets the guitar body. You have to have some pressure there. No matter what bar chord you're working on, you're gonna need a little bit of back pressure. Otherwise your thumb back here is doing all the work. And that poor thumb's gonna get tired. So what I want you to do is start with an easy A string bar chord, which is a C major on this one. Of course, if we wanna make it minor, we can do this. Let's make it a minor, no minor shape. And now take your thumb off, and you'll notice immediately how much your fingers have lifted, because how can you keep pressure on there without your thumb? Well, you can by putting that fleshy part right here against the body of your guitar, push, and now I can play that bar chord without my thumb. And I've seen actually a few people, they don't even use their thumbs. They must be putting a lot of pressure back there. Okay, so the point of this was tip number 2, start learning bar chords on your A string. And now this is probably the easiest place to play a bar chord while sitting down, which is another point I wanted to make. Sitting down and playing bar chords at this end is pretty easy. But when you start getting higher up, my body is now getting in my way, and it's getting a bit harder. But if I stand up, all of a sudden that space is totally open and available to me. So don't be afraid to practice those bar chords sitting down and standing up. Of course, you're going to want to do that later anyway. Okay, so number 2, I've jumped around a bit, was start on the A string for bar chords. Okay, let's move on past that before I lose y'all. Okay, number 3. I said generally just play the bar chord and see what feels awkward. So let's go back to our G major bar chord here. Now if I play this, listen to your body. Play it a few times. Now, it doesn't matter if it sounds good or not yet. What you're doing is listening to what hurts. So let's say it sounds bad. I'm going to make it sound bad, but there. Who cares what it sounds like? I'm going to put my finger all in a weird angle. What is my body telling me right now? With it sounding like this, my wrist is telling me this is not comfortable. So fix it. Try different things. So I'm going to rotate my wrist a little bit back so that this finger is more vertical, as it was like this, which just means I'm overcompensating. I'm just trying too hard to make that work. So relax the wrist, get this finger straight, and now see what else is bothering me. Let me see what else is bothering me right now. I can feel right now that this back part of my thumb, this bent part here, that seems to be a little bit painful. Like, why am I'm overcompensating again, so I'm just gonna relax it a little bit, and oh, the bar chord still feels okay. And at some point, you're gonna see that, oh man, if I push that arm into the body of the guitar, I don't have to put so much pressure on there. Well, we're not gonna make that fleshy part of your arm do everything, so let's give a little bit of pressure with the thumb, a little bit of pressure with this arm, and that gives a whole ton more strength to this whole area. Now all of a sudden my hand is not like screaming. It's not like I'm at the gym here trying to work this hand out, right? Okay, next one, fingertips. Okay, so you can see how my fingers are not laid like this. Now, sure, I can see a lot of people online that can play like this. I have no idea how. But proper finger is fingertips, right? You're gonna, if I could turn my hand sideways to see, you want to just curl them a little bit. So you're playing with your tips. If it's not sounding good, chances are you might just be playing like that. And you're hitting all those other strings. Just you're gonna rotate that wrist in a little bit, if you can see that in the video, and that's gonna curl your fingers up. And I'm way over exaggerating here, but that might be what you should do. Maybe way over exaggerate it. Get it way in like that. And tip up. If we look back here, The 1, the 5, and the 1 is all we're trying to capture with this bar. It's not like we have to bar everything along here, right? So keep that in mind too. All you need is that fleshy part down here. Ooh, you can't see it. Down here on my finger. There. And the tip of my finger. So yeah, you should lay a full one down. But let's say you're not quite getting it. Just remember, you're just trying to get that fleshy part on there. And the next tip coming up will show you how to do that. But so remember, you're not targeting these guys. These are the only ones you're looking for with the major chord shape on the E string with the root. So the next tip, if it's not sounding good, maybe you're having some buzzing. A lot of people think that the bar chord, your finger has to be like this. See how this first finger is right on the G? Just like you would if you were playing a scale. That's correct. For a bar chord, not really. Because if I put my finger there, this is so much more awkward. And you see how this is lifted in an arch? That finger here is in an arch. Well, I'm not going to bar anything there. So you have to allow it to extend over the top. And now it's clean. But if it's still not clean for you and you're not catching the E and B string like you're supposed to, move it up. So I'm going to exaggerate this. And up, I mean up, pointing toward my nose with my finger right now. This finger. And this is down. This is up. Down. Up. Right? Just like you're fretting it here. Great for pentatonic scales or single notes. Horrible for bar chord. Watch what happens when this finger goes up. Like that. I swear this is the #1 thing. I probably should have started with this, but you know what? For the faithful who actually want to learn, you'll have got to this part in the video. This, moving it up, way up for me, as in past this first digit, is what solved my bar chord issue. See how far this finger is hanging off the end of the fretboard? Way off. I had no idea. I kept doing this. Why does that sound so bad? Well, the E and B string are ringing out open. Terrible. Push that finger up. And if this isn't enough, then push it higher. Find out wherever that fleshy part is for you to catch those two strings. And for me, it's almost a whole digit off. Now, I'm going to go back to the A string real quick. That doesn't so much apply for the A string because you can see that even though that fingertip is right here, I still have full contact. And I would actually sometimes bar higher, but this way I can easily mute the E string with the tip of this finger when I'm playing this A string bar chord. Okay? Okay, so if you're on the E string, nice far extension over top of the fretboard. If you're on the A string, not so far. Okay, more like you're fretting it for playing a scale, but a little bit higher. Because what you want to do with that tip of this finger is mute that E string like that, so that it's not played. So in case you're strumming that out, you can hear it's dead, right? Now, like I say, sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm here. I would advise this is a good place to start. Okay, let's see what I got next. Okay, so the last one is give yourself a break. Like I said at the beginning, practice a few minutes a day. Go for 7 days. That'd be awesome. But let's just do 5 days in a row, 3 5-minute sessions, and that's all. Don't get tired. Like I'm already going, oh, my wrist kind of hurts because I don't do it all the time. Give yourself a break. Come back in 5 days and let me know how it went. All right? Awesome. Thanks for watching. If you guys wouldn't mind visiting musiclabs.ca and signing up, that'd be great. We are going to be putting out the Kickstarter for the fretboard escalator. If it doesn't get funded, then I guess you just get to see it and you don't ever get to use it. Thanks again to everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.